Laura. Thank you for joining me today. This is about a 20-minute, very gentle yoga. It's for all levels. You can do it in the morning, you can do it for a movement break, you can do it if you have zero experience with yoga. I recommend that if you have a towel, that you grab it. I have a thick beach towel that I'm going to use a couple different ways. The first being sitting on it, right? So I have my beach towel that I folded into, depending on how much height you need. You can fold it into a nice big square, or you can fold it into a little bit of a thicker rectangle so that you can place it underneath of your booty and sit on top of it. This elevates the hips a little bit, and this is for if you have really tight hip flexors and you can't drop your knees down. Having the hips elevated will help you release the knees down towards the floor. So either coming to a seat on your on your blanket, on your towel. If you have a yoga block, you can sit on a yoga block, and getting comfortable. Arriving with your hands on the tops of your thighs or on the tops of your knees. You don't need to have the arms straight, you just need to have them, the elbows loose down by your side. And then gently close the eyes. Notice your breath. Bring all your awareness to the tip of your nose. The lips are gently sealed, and the air is moving in and out through the nostrils. So you might feel it cool on the inhale and warm on the exhale. Bring all your attention to the very tip and see if you can really pay attention to how the breath feels, moving in through the nose as it goes down through your trachea into your lungs. And then think about reversing that as you exhale. The lungs squeeze together, comes out through your trachea, warmed by your nasal cavity, and out through your nostrils. And then take a deeper breath here. So as you exhale all the air away, draw the belly back towards the spine. And squeeze all the air out so you can't squeeze any more out, and then fill the belly, fill the ribs, and fill the collarbones. And then as you exhale, reverse that wave so collarbones fall, bottom ribs knit together, and the low belly draws in. If you need a little help feeling this action, you take one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. This is called our Dirga breath, our 3-part breathing. So as you exhale, the belly moves back towards the spine and away from that bottom hand. And as you inhale, the belly puffs out, the ribs draw to the sides, and the heart lifts. And then exhale, collarbones drop, bottom ribs knit together, and low belly draws in. Good, let's take 2 more just like that. Inhale. And exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale. Gently release, bring your hands back to the tops of your knees. And as you exhale, tuck the chin towards the chest. Allow the pelvis to tilt back as you round. And you're using the grip of the hands on the knees to give a little traction between the shoulder blades. And then as you inhale, you'll scoop the heart forward and draw the elbows back and the shoulder blades back together on your back. I'll show you what it looks like from the side. So as you exhale, you round the back, arms are straight, and then as you inhale, you lift the heart, tilt the tailbone back behind you, and shoulder blades draw together. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Good, exhale, round. And inhale to lift. Come back to center. I'm going to turn back towards you. And as you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. You'll take your right hand down to the mat, lift the left fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then take a gentle side bend over towards the right. down into that right fingertips. And then as you inhale, come back to center. This time, left fingertips plant right by your hip, left arm reaches up overhead, right arm reaches up, and then side bend. So not at the cost of tipping the pelvis up, you're staying rooted through both sit bones and you're reaching through the fingertips, thinking about grounding through that right hip and finding space between the armpit and the hip. As you inhale, come back to center. Both fingertips reach forward. And again, plug the fingertips into the earth and lift the heart forward. Good. Sit back up and sweep the arms up overhead. You'll take your right hand to the outside or to the top of that left knee and take a gentle twist. So the left fingertips will root down behind you, and you're still sitting up nice and tall, and you might not twist all the way around, and that's okay. You just twist to where you can, and if it feels okay on your neck, you can look towards the back shoulder. If it doesn't feel okay on your neck, you can look straight ahead. And as you slowly inhale, come back to center, reach both arms up overhead, and you'll take a twist in the opposite direction. So left hand to right knee, right fingertips plant behind you. And again, gaze can stay neutral. You can turn to look towards the back of your mat, or your gaze can turn to look over that front shoulder, whatever feels best on your neck. And then wherever you are, unwind, come back to center, reach the arms up overhead. You'll place the fingertips in front of you, and then maybe, if it feels okay on your knees, you'll roll over onto hands and knees over your shins and come into tabletop. Okay, moving your blanket out to the side or your towel out to the side. If that doesn't feel okay, then you're gonna get into tabletop however feels best. I'm crossing the legs and coming onto hands and knees. If this is too much on your knees, good news, you've got your towel. You can unfold it to create a little cushion for underneath of your knees. We're just gonna take a few rounds of cat-cow here. So underneath, your shoulders are stacked right on top of your wrist. Knees are right underneath of your hips. You can bend or tuck your toes if that feels better for you. And we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow. So as you inhale, you'll drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the tailbone. As you exhale, press into the hands, broaden through the shoulder blades, like you could press the spine right up to the ceiling. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round. Good, one more, inhale. And exhale. Good, come back to your neutral spine. And then we're gonna come to standing. So any way that feels good for you, you can lift the knees and begin to walk the hands back to come up to standing. You can sit the hips off to one side and then help yourself up and move your towel or blanket out to the side. So as you come to standing on your mat, you'll separate your feet about hips width distance apart. Take a look and see what that looks like. So it's not wide, it's right underneath of your hips. So you're stacking hips over knees over ankles. Bring your hands to heart center. Then as you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. You'll take the right hand down either to the right hip or down to that right thigh and find a side bend here. So you're shifting the hips over towards the left as you find a side bend over towards the right. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale, come back up to center. Both arms reach, and then you'll take a side bend to the opposite side. As you inhale, come back up to center. Palms touch, hands come to heart center. We'll just do a little bit of shoulder mobility here. I've heard these are called Egyptians. I really like them. It feels really good on my neck and my shoulders. So you'll reach your arms out at shoulder height, palms face up. I'm not going to mirror you so I can talk you through this effectively, but you'll flip your right palm down. So you turn your thumb towards the front of the room and then rotate so that this shoulder comes forward, and then you'll turn to tuck the chin towards that left collarbone as the left hand stays lifted up towards the ceiling. And then as you inhale, you'll unroll that shoulder. And then as you exhale, the left hand, the whole arm turns forward, almost like you could flip that palm up, and then the chin tucks in towards that right collarbone. One more time each side. As you inhale, unwind. Exhale, right arm internally rotates, chin to collarbone. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, left arm internally rotates, chin to collarbone. And come back to center. Good. Bring your hands to your hips. Take your hands to your low back. I'm turning just to the side so you can see me. We'll take a little baby back bend here. So the elbows squeeze together behind you, almost like they could touch. They won't, obviously. And the reason why we have our hands at our sacrum on our low back is to help encourage a long spine. We already have a nice curve here in the lumbar spine, right? We're trying to get the curve into the thoracic spine to open up the heart. So elbows draw together, and you're just going to lift the heart up towards the ceiling. So I'm working my elbows behind me, collarbones broad, shoulder blades drawing together. There isn't a lot of movement back for me, right? But I can lift my heart up and still feel an opening across the collarbones and the front of the chest. Good, take one more breath in, and then gently release. Shake out the arms. So we're going to work on just a little bit of balance, and then we'll make our way back down to the floor. So if you know that you like to be near a wall or a chair or a couch or wherever you are set up, or even to step off of your mat. Root down into your left leg. Bring your hands to your hips. And you can stay right here, coming up onto the toe of that right foot, so that all the weight is in your left leg. And this left leg is your super strong standing tree trunk, okay? So you can stay right here, or if you'd like, flex the foot. And if you have even more, see if you can draw the knee up in line with that right hip. Even more, maybe bring your hands to heart center. And we'll hold for 3, 2, 1. Bring your right sole of the foot to the floor. Give everything a little wiggle. And then stand firmly into your right leg again. Bring your hands back to your hips. The low belly draws in to help you find some stability. And you can stay right here, shifting the weight into that right leg, making your leg super strong like a tree trunk, and bringing the left toes out in front of the right. So you can stay right here. Maybe you flex the foot so your foot isn't that far from the floor. Maybe you draw the left knee up in line with the left hip. And even more, maybe hands to heart center. Wherever you are, holding for 3, 2, 1. Gently lower that left leg. Give everything a little wiggle and a shake. We're going to make our way back down to our mat and finish up with a final few stretches. So in a way that feels comfortable for you, you'll come back down to seated, making sure you have enough room behind you to roll down. And then if you can, you'll grab the back of your thighs and help yourself roll down. If you need more help, you'll take your hands behind you and just begin to walk back. So maybe you come down onto your elbows, and then maybe one of your forearms, and you will roll yourself all the way down. Draw the soles of the feet in towards your booty, and bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. Press your thighs away and feel that gentle traction in the low back. keep pressing into the tops of the thighs. The hands, the heels of the hands are really close in towards the hip creases. Take one more breath in, and then exhale, and release. Good, you'll draw your right knee in towards the chest, give it a squeeze. You can keep this left sole of the foot onto the floor if that feels really good for you. If you have a little bit more room to work, you can send this left leg long in front of you, keeping the heel on the floor, toes flexed, pointed up towards the ceiling on both feet. Good, 2 more breaths. If you have the left leg extended, go ahead and draw that left knee back sole of the foot to the floor and drop the right sole of the foot to the floor and simply switch. So left knee draws into the chest, keep it right here, flex the left foot. Or if you have more, maybe you send that right leg long along the mat. Both feet stay flexed. 3 breaths here. Good, if you've extended the right leg, draw the right sole of the foot to the floor, drop the left sole of the foot to the floor, separate the knees, or separate the feet mats width distance, or as far as you can to allow the knees to fall in together, called constructive rest. So you don't want your knees so far that they can't touch, they're just hanging out in space. This is meant to be supportive, so you want the knees to lean into each other. You can take your arms up by your shoulders, cactus arms, or goalpost arms, depending on, or straight out depending on how much space you have. And then you'll separate the knees and begin to windshield wiper the legs side to side. This is as long as it feels good on your low back. If it doesn't feel good on your low back, then you'll simply stay in constructive rest. So as you're windshield wipering your legs, the next time they fall over towards the right, you'll let them stay there. Just for a gentle twist, gaze turns to look over the left shoulder. Then as you inhale, come back to center and allow the legs to fall over towards the left. Gaze turns to look over the right shoulder. As you inhale, come back up to center. Draw both knees into the chest, give them a squeeze. And as you draw the knees in, resist with the legs. So the hands are drawing the knees in, but press the knees back into the hands and see if that helps you flatten the low back. Get a little bit more space on the floor behind you. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, drop the soles of the foot to the floor. Roll over onto your right or left side, maybe using that bottom arm as a pillow. And then gently pressing your way up to seated position. Again, recrossing your legs. Arriving back at the top of your mat. Gently closing the eyes and again bringing your attention back to the tip of the nose. Noticing the air moving in and out. And as you take an inhale, I want you to imagine the air traveling down in through the nose and then down through the body. Filling, filling, filling from the bottom to the top. And then as you exhale, I want you to think about emptying the air out, top to bottom. One more breath in and out. Bring your hands to heart center. Gently blink the eyes open. I hope this finds you well. Namaste.